So the NFL draft was last week. A bunch of young men and their families got a chance to see them start the next level of their dream. And I wanted to talk about it on the show, and for some reason, we ended up doing this.
Selfie. Got it. Hey, Clay. Thanks for having me back.
Matthew.
Always a joy.
I'm sure
Great
you
to see
do.
you.
Yes, yes.
You're the best.
Mm-hmm. Let's
Who
talk. All right, let's talk about the NFL draft last week. Any surprises at all?
Houston. I thought Houston pulled off the major coup of the draft, which was
2 of the first 5 picks, right?
They went back-to-back 2 and 3. So Vegas odds, I don't know if you know this, like Vegas has actually gotten crushed with the draft because information's so good now.
Mm-hmm.
So people know, and generally the sharps are aware. About 30 minutes before the draft, there was a massive odds change where everyone was assuming Will Anderson from Alabama was going 2. Mm-hmm. Well, Houston surprised everybody, and they pulled off a major coup. They took C.J. Stroud second, traded back to number 3 to take Will Anderson, because had they waited to 3 for Stroud, they knew they would have had competition.
Right.
So they taken Anderson 2 and waited. So major coup by the Houston Texans. I thought they nailed it.
I love that. Great. If the Texans were on the side of really crushing it, who was on the opposite side of that and they really whiffed? They didn't have a good first round.
I think everybody says Detroit, just maybe because they reached a bit. They took a linebacker out of Iowa at 18 that might have been there. They took Jahmyr Gibbs, the running back from Alabama, at 12. I mean, running backs are so devalued in the NFL now. It's hard to justify taking a back
that high.
That high.
Yeah.
But I mean, we saw Bijan Robinson go 8 to Atlanta, which I love to see because I love the Falcons stinking. So yeah, please take a running back at 8.
Yep, there you go.
That'll solve all your problems.
So there are people that are saying they could win the whole division, that they have the best quarterback in the division, which I don't agree with. But
the Falcons?
Yeah.
With Desmond Ridder?
I'm telling you, I don't agree with it either, brother. I'm on your team on this one.
Well, the division stinks.
Well, that is true. I think Derek Carr is going to have something to prove this year. I don't know what year 2 and 3 are going to look like, but generally quarterbacks like that, they get to a team, they have something to prove. There's a chip on their shoulder. Yeah. So I think he's going to play probably as well as you could expect next year. You disagree with that?
No, I think Derek Carr was the best option for the Saints in 2023. I don't agree with signing Derek Carr because there is a lower ceiling with Derek Carr. Derek Carr is not winning a championship in New Orleans, and that's the problem. If you're trying to get to a championship, then you are delaying that process by bringing in Derek Carr. I don't think they can build a championship roster around him.
Because of the lack of assets?
Well, that's part of it. They just have too far to go, and he's not going to get you over the hump. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Justin Herbert. He's not the guy that's going to will your team to a championship like Joe Burrow did in year 2 in Cincinnati, getting them to a Super Bowl. Yeah. Carr is not that guy. He's never been that guy. And he's certainly not that guy at this point in his career.
You could have had Jimmy Garoppolo.
Same guy, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a saying that the Raiders traded Derek Carr for an image of himself. I mean, they're the same guy. Let's go deal with the Saints in the draft. What grade do you give them?
I loved it.
Okay.
I thought they nailed the draft. And part of it, Clay, is they had one absolute must, and that was defensive tackle. They had 2 on the whole roster. Like, you can't play football with 2 defensive tackles. So they needed it. That's what they did at 29. They got Brian Brzee, who was, at one point in his recruiting career, was the #1 overall player in the country, any position. So if he's healthy, he's right. That's a steal at 29. I love getting the edge rusher, Isaiah Foskey from Notre Dame, who is an Adonis. Like, I mean, he's 6'5", 265 with like 4% body fat. Notre Dame's all-time sack leader. Broke the record set by Justin Tuck. Remember with the Giants?
Yeah.
So I thought they checked every box they needed. I thought they nailed it. I thought getting A.T. Perry, the receiver out of Wake Forest, around 6 is highway robbery. I have no idea why that guy fell. I love what they did. I don't know that necessarily it means they're going to be a contender, but I love what they did in the draft.
So, I mean, people go for the splash, but I'm like you. I think you go get what you need. My team went and picked a couple of defensive backs, which I think was very, very smart because they're strong in other places. In the last 90 seconds, I wanted to. They are strong in other places. Were they not in the conference? Were they not in the conference?
Nobody watching this show right now cares about the 49ers.
There's plenty of people.
There's nobody watching right now that cares about the 49ers.
There is such an undercurrent of the Niner Nation here in Baton Rouge. It doesn't matter. We know. We know. I mean, all this hate just after you finished hearing about Mother's Day. How dare you?
By the way, you're right about that. They better bring it for Father's Day.
Dude.
You're right about
I mean,
that.
listen, I was going to, come on now.
They never do. They
No.
won't. But they need to.
But I mean, like,
No
did
respect.
you hear the rundown?
Yeah, oh yeah.
What-
Nails, hair, food, drinks. They're like, here's a bag of gummy bears. Have a nice day. Thanks for being a dad. Thanks for participating.
That's exactly right. Thanks for showing up. All right, now I got less than a minute. Lamar Jackson pulled off something that I think is pretty amazing.
Good for him.
He went the curvy way, but he got this big contract without an agent. Your thoughts?
Well, he doesn't have to pay agent fees,
Right.
number one, and he reset the market. That's the goal for every quarterback or every player. Whenever it's your turn as a free agent, you want to reset the market. Big winner, though, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert.
Ooh. And Joe Burrow deserves to be paid. I don't care what you say. The kid, they are going to win at least a Super Bowl in Cincinnati, I believe. So when I'm going to get to return the favor on after further review at some point. But all right, look, we're getting out of here. Are you doing another?
Got to get the right angle.
See y'all next week.